Alright, this is Gristleizer. It is a bonus entry to MapLab number 9, Back on Track. I'm going to play through it as I've been playing through all the entries thus far. I don't think we'll be able to get down here, because it's just a long tunnel. I was wondering if it was one of these, you know, like the Mario staircase, the never-ending staircase, basically. That was a bit of a waste of time. In terms of the level design, it would be good to make the player not run, even though I guess it's kind of obvious that you shouldn't be going that way. There's nothing to tell the player that, so a lot of players may go and check, like I just did, to say, oh, well, maybe there is something there, to go and see and explore. So having something here to stop the player from progressing that way, because that may be the way you go to end, that may just be there as decoration. In any case, if there's nothing there, then it should probably not you should probably not be able to run down there, because it just wastes the player's time, basically. We've got a nice combined structure there that I think really stands out. You know, it's front and centre as you come out of this tunnel. I can hear the combined soldiers chattering away on the other side of this fence. And we've got quite an empty street. Looks quite cool inside there. As much as it's not the most detailed building, it is got quite a good shape to it, and it kind of... Well, I'm looking forward to exploring it. Just because it's a bit unique, it's not just a flat building, and... yeah. So that's good. Even in the most basic of environmental designs, you can still make your buildings look, you know, a bit more detailed, as has been done in this case. I could do with a bit more, you know, surroundings around here, but again, there may have been time constraints and whatnot. I really don't know. I guess I'm more forgiving when it comes to a competition such as this. So we're being swarmed by the slowest enemies in the game. Well. Oh dear. So what else do we have? We have a nice blue piece of tape on the wall. Some hidden items, which is good. And we have the door into what I presume is this industrial estate. Oh. I thought he was going to run under there. It would seem like a better idea if this one wasn't here, or if he could go under but the player couldn't. I'm not sure if that's actually possible. But I thought it would have been a good idea if the player was standing here waiting to destroy it and he just came right through as kind of a... Not a surprise. Not a surprise as in, wow, I'm shocked, I've never seen anything like it, but just like a, oh, didn't expect that. Just like that. He's going to explode himself. We don't need to do it. These guys are good if there's multiple zombine soldiers. They're fighting, so it's good that it's not just combined soldiers fighting us. these guys are actually against, I presume, the zombies. So it makes the world feel a lot more alive that way. And the weapon's been well signposted, so we can see it. And then we're in a industrial estate. These guys don't seem to be too keen on fighting us, which is fine. There's no way in here, but it's, I think it's showing us the way that we're going to be. I think, again, I could be wrong about that. We see the car as well. I presume that's our breakout. You know, we're going to take it back to where we started and run down that massive tunnel. That would be my prediction. For some reason, that door is... yeah. It's just because it was darker than the other ones. Which is good. I guess that's why it's got a rope running to it. I was looking for signs to see if it was more obvious than just the door's darker, and there is in fact a rope, so it's actually been well signposted. Oh, I just hate head crabs. They can get annoying. Everyone knows that. Much like manhacks. Okay, again, I've spoken about this before, but spawning enemies behind the player is not a good thing in terms of design. The player has, you know, if the player kind of takes on or takes over an area, then that is the player's claimed area. So we've conquered this area, it's now time to move on to the next. And spawning enemies, you know, behind the players, like, well now you've got to go back, you're not moving forward. There are exceptions. There's always exceptions to these little design things, in that in some instances when the player's backtracking, so they've done something, they need to come back through an area, the area will then get populated with more enemies on the way back, but it has to be very clear that you've moved into another area, you've done something, you've actually, you know, the player's actually interacted in another way, so they can then come back. So in this case, we hadn't interacted, we were just running, suddenly we're surrounded. But if we'd gone, pushed the button, gone in, you know, to another area and then come back this way, and we were running down here and then the zombies came out, that would be acceptable. It's just something that happens. I think this might be broken. I think there should be a rope going, but for some reason it's not appearing for me. But if that is the case, if there was rope there, then it would be well signposted that it was a secret hidden area, and that'd be good. Alright, once again we see that Combine soldier fighting the zombies. We get to choose whether or not I think we to shoot him, I think. Maybe not. Maybe he won't die, but that should be how it is. Didn't even notice that guy. Alright, we have a rope leading back to the garage. And that opens this one. I did not expect that. Part of me now thinks that all of these doors should have opened when we hit the button, and yeah, it's just not, you know, a flag has just not been checked or something. I don't know how he took so much damage off. I need some more health. Okay, that's good. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be in here, or I think it might be an error with the map. I think my prediction is they're going to be used for spawning, you know, combine soldiers. I'm just very wary because of my lack of health. I see some more health. Sniper rifle time, I think. And we can go around to see the car, but we cannot get in. It doesn't look like there's any health around here. I'll come back and speak about this in a minute. Oh. Before I need to go and get some health. I seem to be doing alright. Surprisingly. I really liked this battle, this setup. As much as it's a very plain and simple level, it's actually been well set up in that you've got Combine on 2 levels. You've got the soldiers who were in the windows, you've got the soldiers who were on the ground floor. You've got enough cover here where you can crouch here, you can take the fight from here, or you know, if you wanted you could push up, although it's been very well set up so it actually actively encourages you not to just push the enemy, and they don't push you either. So it actually makes for a very fun and very orderly fight, which I don't see very often, or I haven't seen very often recently, and I think that is very good. Let's see if the map can continue to hold its reputation for having good combat. I think we'll get in the car and drive off. Oh! I don't know where that went. I see he's up there. Oh, he's pushing. He's pushing. So yeah, standing behind there, he had cover. We could, back down here. There was exploding barrel that I tried to use but failed because I'm not that good. But again, this guy stayed well back. I'm not sure why the other guy ended up pushing. Right, I'm expecting more resistance. Actually, could we go this way? No, but we're getting shown the car, so we can, we're still aware of what our goal is. We are trying to get the car and break out or whatever. I'm not sure why. Sounds like some weird thing is happening upstairs. Let's try. Let's see. Okay, we've got another combat scenario. Again, they're well back. Maybe too far. You know, too far to, you know, be focused. I'm never happy. I always sound like I'm complaining about everything. No, it's fine. We can see them. We can get to them. I think they're surrounding the building. They might start coming up the stairs, in which case we'll have to cover the door, which would be quite cool. Let's just lob a grenade. Oh, I think I took some health off him. It's difficult for me to try and see out of the windows. Ah, so this is what the thing was. It's a machine of some sort. That's quite cool. Was this an item crate factory? The combat in this area was well set up. I did say it was a bit far away. It might be slightly far away, but it was still decent, especially the fact that they're well back. It's exactly how I would want it, basically. And there's good verticality. That's something that's not often seen in maps. And this is us in the Combine part, you know, the Combine made section of the building, because I think it's one of these buildings the Combine have converted, because we looked outside, we saw, oh, you know, the exterior was looked like it had a bit put on by the Combine. I think these red lights are to signal, or that red light anyways, to signal the ladder and the Combine soldier who was standing there, I think. That would be my thought on what it might be. Again, verticality is good. I'm not sure what's happening here, but it looks like we could break through, or someone can break through. That's a bit annoying. That guy just came from... Surely it didn't come up the ladder. I'd want to know where that guy came from, because... That's a bit weird. I'm a bit freaked out, to be honest. Someone will have seen him on my video, because you know, I won't have seen him, because I will have been looking somewhere else. And they'll, you know, point it out and be like, there he was. Unless the mapper is spawning them, which is not a good idea. Again, I'm not sure. I don't want to comment on that until I'm fully aware of what happened. Combine day drinking is a terrible thing. So, it looks like we can't get in there. I'm going to try the door just in case. We can follow this wire, which is very, very clearly marked. The noise is annoying. I'm guessing there'll be a combat scenario when the door opens. Yeah. Oh. That is quite good. I'll mention it later in a bit, when I can actually aim at the soldiers. That one was a bit bizarre. There was a lot of soldiers there, a lot more than I anticipated, but the fact is, these things have been cleverly placed in that oh, I just knocked it down. You can see the door opening, so you can see what you're doing. Obviously, you know by the wire anyway, but it's also a good thing to have what you're doing being shown. But these things are tall enough to kind of hide the Combine soldiers running round. The things exploded, and I don't know if that made very much sense in the actual environmental context, but it did create a scenario where we can, it's given us more space and another route to take, if you want to call it that, where you can run away, basically. It opens up this room to the item crate, and the ammo crate, whatever you want to call it. I quite liked it. I quite like this. Again, it's a bit tight, but the concepts are very, very good there. Everything that should have been done was done, which I'm quite pleased at. Feels like we're definitely in like an attic or the back rooms. Either way, it's a bit weird. I can imagine this map being a lot more detailed. I don't know if it was just a time limit thing, which is why I can basically see the great emptiness. But I can imagine this being quite a detailed, quite a good map. I'll speak more on that later. Now we have to slowly make our way down. The shield has been taken down, I think. Yep, that's probably the best way of doing it, is just get rid of the gates completely. Or have them open fully, so I'm not sure. Just get rid of the gates. We can actually climb back up if we wanted to. I guess we can't climb on the roof, which might be a bit... Yeah, there should be more blocking the player instead of just a player clip. That's something people aren't always too happy at. I learned that the hard way when I made a map. I'll speak on that some other time. Alright, so here we go. We can stop and fight, or we can just drive. But it's creating like this fun, backtracking, kind of comical driving section. Where we are now, oh my goodness. I think I got the car actually stuck. That's how bad I am at this game. In any case. We can just drive off down the street. Okay, now this might come as a surprise to some people who maybe played the map and didn't enjoy it as much or didn't think it was very good, but I really, really liked that map. I think there was a lot of stuff that needs improving, like a lot of stuff that needs improving in terms of the part at the start where you could just run down the tunnel. Maybe there could be something blocking it, much like there was a door blocking the way back from the warehouse, and then it opened when we had to go and do the backtracking part. Obviously the environment could be a lot more detailed. I'm going to put that down to time to do this. I guess, because of the deadlines, you have to cut on some stuff. And I think the gameplay, especially the combat encounters, most of the combat encounters were very well set up. As I pointed out, there was a lot of good design elements. You got a fun driving part at the end where you could run down all the Combine or choose to fight them if you wanted. That building that you can see on the left, the main building, it was actually very well detailed, and the environments were well done in that you knew when you got to the top of the building where the Combine had put their infrastructure on. And there was a lot of good stuff in that map. And I have to highly commend the mapper for being able to make such a good level, even though it may have been lacking in environment. It certainly wasn't lacking in good gameplay concepts.